I was so amazed because when I went to that track race in Minnesota, and Jack was there, and I just like overheard people talking about blah 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 vegan pizza, and I was like, what? Like, there's vegan people here at a track race, and I was like, really? And I was like, tell me about the vegan pizza, and then I found out that there's this whole contingent of track racing vegans. I'm Kevin Selker, and I do track cycling, road cycling. I'm a sprinter.
My name is Zachary Kowalczyk, and I am a track cyclist.
My name is Jack Lindquist. I am 31 years old and I am a professional track cyclist.
Wanna be a member, wanna be a name. Wanna be a local hero for the simple game. Locked into a time of your dinosaur trends. The limits of your mind is where the county line ends. Listen to the media, accepting it as fact. Following its orders cause they don't know how to act. Thinking you're the sun, the world revolves around your head. You'll be a VM most until the day that you are dead.
Well, I was vegetarian for a long time, and then I sort of copped out. I was like, well, there's no point in being vegetarian if I am still eating eggs and cheese, which allowed me to cop out and start eating meat again somehow. I was eating like local cheese and eggs for a while, for about 2 years before I became vegan. And I just realized I didn't need that stuff. Once a week, I'd be like, oh, now I gotta use the eggs. Now I gotta use the milk. And it became a chore of like using that stuff and like coming up with new ideas of how to use it. And I was like, why am I even doing this? Like, and meanwhile, I'm reading books like the China Study or something where it's like saying, you'll have a heart attack. It's like, I don't need it. It's probably not good for me. I'm spending money on it. So I might as well just simplify things and not even eat any of it. And the more you find out about local schmocal stuff, it's not any more humane. It's not better for you.
I saw actually a cow get shot in the head by a farmer in upstate New York, rural New York, across the street from the horse farm that our family's vet owned that I helped out at. So a friend of mine and I were chatting about veganism. She had been vegan for a long time, and the subject of my dog, the Reverend, came up. She asked what the difference was between my dog and a cow. And I couldn't come up with a good enough reason, because I remember playing with that cow across the street when I was a kid, and I went vegan right then and there. That was it.
Being vegan makes sense to me, and not being vegan would really disgust me and gross me out. Not being vegan has never crossed my mind since I've gone vegan. It's just not really a choice or an option for me. I think a lot of people are vegan for health or dietary reasons, and there's no passion behind it. I think punk rock is very passion fueled, and I'm vegan in the same way that I'm a punk kid. It's definitely just part of who I am.
So having been an athlete my whole life, I noticed that when I went vegan, even just cutting out the dairy and eggs that I used to eat when I was just vegetarian, that I recovered a lot faster. I had less of an issue processing lactic buildup in my body. So like active recovery after hard efforts was a lot easier for me. It's fairly obvious to everyone in the program and everyone around me that I'm healthy, that I eat well-balanced meals. Like, I go out to eat with these guys sometimes to some of the restaurants around here, and it's not like I'm sitting at the edge of the table eating grains of rice and drinking water. Like, I get to eat regular food. So being vegan's not that difficult. You don't have to only eat organic, locally farm-grown quinoa and shade-grown lentils. You can eat cans of black beans. You can eat bread from the store, from just your regular grocery store. Grocery stores have tofu. I love tofu. It's easy to cook with. You can make it taste like anything. Pan fry it a little bit with some salt, pepper, and oil, and it's spectacular in a salad or in a burrito.
I've kind of seen both sides. So I wasn't vegan when I started track racing, and I turned vegan and I didn't notice any decline at all. So I think more importantly, eating enough, eating at the right times, eating a balanced diet, those are the things that I have noticed impacts. If anything, I've probably leaned up a little bit, which helps because power to weight is really what matters. And so if your power stays the same and your weight decreases, that can only help. I have tons of energy now, and that's a huge part of it. If you feel sluggish, even if you're really strong, you're not going to be able to just jump and follow those moves or win those sprints.
So when you start going fast, you do definitely have to lean in.
Yeah.
It helps to, were you looking through the corner?
Yeah.
It helps, right?
Yeah.
It's rad.
Yeah, it just took me a while to realize I had to do that.
Yeah.
you know, to get comfortable doing it. It's a lot harder and scarier than it looks.
It's not very scary. It's really easy. Anyone can do this.
It's a little scary. And I ride bikes a lot.
You did just go all the way up to the rail on this track, 28 feet in the air, the first time you've ever ridden it. Usually takes most people a week, so.
Oh.
Yeah. You're doing pretty well.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that before we did it.
Yeah. That's why I didn't tell you before we did it. I used to work in the aerospace defense industry, and after a while, I realized that what I was doing was actually just making stuff that dropped bombs on people. So I quit doing that and became a bike messenger. There was an event that happened at the Encino Velodrome. I went out and I did this race and won some airplane tickets to go to Cycle Messenger World Championships in Australia. And I just got hooked on track racing. It was so much fun, and I've been doing it ever since.
I started riding bikes when I was about 17 for transportation. It was like thrift store bikes, $5 bikes from the Salvation Army or the Goodwill. Ride them until they broke, tried to fix them, and then get a new one. And when I moved to Portland in 2006, I took my track bike that I rode on the street to the velodrome and tried some races just for fun and got hooked.
I never thought I was a competitive person until I entered my first bike race, and then I got this bug of needing to win and wanting to win everything that I enter. And whether it's riding home, you know, with my roommates to get home, racing to the house at the end of the night, or you know, at a track race, it's just I always want to cross the finish line first.
I really like track cycling because there's a lot to it that isn't easily discerned just from watching the first race. You have to pay a little bit of attention to figure out the nuances of tactics. There's nothing like going 40 miles an hour shoulder to shoulder with two guys through a corner, pushing on them to try and get them to, you know, give a little bit away so you can get past them and gain an advantage. Riding at 2 miles an hour behind someone on the track, waiting for them to turn their head forward so you can, you know, sneak around them and have them have no idea where you went. That feeling of, oh, where'd he go, is really, really amazing. And seeing someone with that look on their face as you're going past them is really fun.
There's so much to it. All the action happens really fast and all the decisions are made split second, and you can watch people think. You know, they're turning themselves inside out, riding their bikes, you know, they're totally cross-eyed and barely able to, you know, see straight. But they're also having to make these insane split-second decisions the whole time they're racing. Right now we are at the Velo Sports Center in Carson, California for Elite Track Nationals. And yeah, about to get the Team Pursuit gold medal ride on here in a minute. When I get off the rollers here, probably head up there, grab my bike, and win a national championship. That's the plan. Being able to wear your national champion kit, you know, when you're racing on the track, and it's awesome. It was a dream that I had. It was a goal, you know, a very long-term goal, and last year I was able to realize it twice, and just absolutely fantastic. I got into this as a punk kid, riding my track bike around as a courier, making money on the streets, and I never even dreamed that I would someday be a national champion. There's no way that you could have told me that and I would have believed you. So it's pretty unreal, but you know, you show up, you have fun, and you push yourself to the edge, and you know, you can go pretty far. The number one advice I can give for anybody that wants to get into track cycling is to show up and keep showing up and having fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And if you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it. There's definitely a difference between, you know, fun and hard. Some people think if it's hard, it's not fun. I mean, you know, certain things can be rewarding, and they're not going to be fun necessarily while you're doing them, but, you know, achieving these goals and putting yourself through the ringer and pushing yourself to the edge can be very rewarding, which in its own way is, I think, fun.